Oh, hi everybody. I didn't know I had an audience just yet, but I'm glad you're along. This is Mark, and Rich is here with us also. We're from the Backroads Channel on YouTube, back in Bentonsport, Iowa, with another stop that we really want to introduce you to. We're excited about this one. We all are all of them, but this one I really like because everything you'll see in here is absolutely handmade. The knife I am using to whittle with is handmade. It's got a walnut handle, steel blade. It was made by the owner of Treen Woodworks, Randy Trudell. We're going to go in and meet Randy in just a second, but first of all, we want you to be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also like us on Facebook. We'd love to meet you, and we're glad you're checking us out on the web. Let's go inside Treen Woodworks and meet the owner, Randy Trudell. We're inside Treen Woodworking in Bonaparte, Iowa. Let's head on over and meet the owner, Randy Trudell. Randy, tell us how you came by the name Treen Woodworking.
Okay, treen is an old English word that means of a tree or from a tree, and that's what it is. And so a lot of people think it's my last name, but it's actually, that's what it is. It's an old English word, and this is called treenware. Woodenware, that's another thing, that's another way of saying woodenware, treenware, and that's what it is. It's not real well known. I've had a lot of questions about that, and I've even considered putting something up on the wall explaining what treen is.
Can we come over to this wall and
certainly
talk about some of this?
All right. Well,
are those bottle cap openers hanging there?
They are bottle openers. I got interested in making these for something quick and easy that I could do, and when I was still working, a guy needed wedding gifts, so he made an order, for his groomsmen, that type of thing. And just I used to pound them out when I had nothing else to do, when I was killing time, and I'd just give them out, hand them out. It's something kind of fun. These coffee scoops were kind of the same thing. I forget. I saw a picture somewhere or something, and it kind of just hit me that, hey, I'm gonna try making those. And they've been real popular. And they're 2 tablespoon scoops, so 1 scoop for 2 cups of coffee, and you're good to go.
And it looks like 2 different metals used there.
Yep, this is copper. I take a copper and you anneal it, get it soft, pound it down into a swage block or a piece of wood with a divot carved out in it, and rivet it on, and you're ready to make coffee. So these were actually, my sister-in-law came up with this idea of these.
Now that is a ladle.
That's a ladle, and it would be hard to drink out of, but
you could.
But you could. I just bend the handle back down. But she came up with the idea that she liked to put, like, I don't know what these are called, votive candles or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, It was just a decorative piece, and so it was just a natural fit. In fact, I think I made lots of these before I ever made a copper scoop, because it's just something that we wanted to incorporate into the shop down here. And they've been real popular with folks. These little necklaces here are just little tiny spoons. They're kind of I make about 3 or 4 different styles of spoons now, and that's what I make. I used to try to make everything. I'll make a scraper or 2. They've all sold out. Make more of those, but these are my wife's favorite spoons that she uses all the time. And so I said, well, you pick the ones you like the best, and that's what I'll carve from now on. And it's worked out really well for us.
So people using these all the time, is there any special care and treatment that you have to do?
Never put them in a dishwasher, and never soak them for a long time. Otherwise, my wife's got spoons they're absolutely 40 plus years old, and they're look great. Put a little oil on them every once in a while, probably like a mineral oil or walnut oil. You can buy all that at the grocery store. and rub it on and use them. All this stuff in here is made to use, and that's what I try to tell people is use it. It's what's for, you know. You can keep sure you can use it as a decorative piece, but absolutely
You'll never have to replace it,
no.
and it's always there. It's a useful piece.
Yes. And
It probably works better than anything you buy.
Well, you know, it's been around longer than a lot of the other things that people use have been.
You've got a number of bowls and the stools I've been noticing too. Tell us about those.
Okay, these big ash cookies I get at the same place where I get the charcuterie board wood and like this table wood and stuff. And I buy it because it's kiln dried, so this kind of thing is going to check no matter what you do. So I thought
it just adds character to it, doesn't it?
Sure. And when you cut a round off, you know, this is a limb. Cut a big chunk of it out. It's the moisture leaving it. It's got to find a place to go, and that's why it checks. So I figured, well, I'll just cut right to the chase and have them pre-checked and get them built. Originally, my wife kind of had an idea for some plant stands. And so I said, well, you know, I'll roll up some bottoms and we'll see how it goes. But people have been coming in and generally set on. And it's a pretty good size for it. I mean, I've had people come in and express interest in maybe making a set for around a bar or something. I said, sure, you know, whatever you need. We'll just have to talk about height and what you want. But they've been real popular. You can ask me about something else.
The bowls that were there.
The bowls. Yeah, the bowls are all local hardwood from 3 miles up the road here. This is sycamore. All them old trees you see in the down by the creek bottoms and stuff. Those two there are. That's the limb wood from these little spoons here with the bark left on. And that's just something that kind of came up with when had a bunch of limbs laying around, and I don't like to waste wood if I can keep from it. You know, a lot of it can go in the wood burner and stuff. But it's just kind of became kind of a little trademark for us down here. People get a kick out of them. They're definitely usable. I mean, I suppose you could eat with them or use honey with them or whatever, but that's been real popular. We're on this is the charcuterie boards. People like to buy them. I would call them a cutting board myself, but my daughter kind of introduces charcuterie, and so that's worked out real well. People have been real interested in those. These bowls tonight, this is a walnut bowl. I've got more walnut bowls. Well, I can show you down where they started. This is cherry, of course. A little plant stand here. Different variety of sizes. As I go, this is. I've been working on these. Talking about when you start carving a bowl out, you have to leave them dry. That's the stage just before I'll finish. This is getting down to where now I'll scrape these out, and these will be done, and they won't crack anymore. But you're going to get a little bit of a check in wood because, like I said, the moisture wants to get out of it. Those will be done, and then I can carry on to the next one. So,
and then I see that you've got a lot of these on tables that have been built for this.
Right. These were built specifically when we got the building, and I knew we were going to move down here and do this. And I said, well, I'm going to have something to put this stuff on. So, lucky to find this live edge. It's all soft maple, and makes a knockdown table so they can be just for display. And it's worked out really well.
And you've got a lot of different varieties of woods here. What are some of the varieties that you can get?
You can get anything local hardwood is what I will have down here. I don't have any exotics. We've got beautiful wood in this part of the country, and there's you just can't hardly beat it. But you know, you got walnut. This is a soft maple board. Cherry. Another soft maple, another cherry soft maple.
And then what is this?
That's soft maple too. I don't have anything. How you doing, folks? I don't have anything with a lot of spalt on it. It's a type of marking on. They go really quick. The minute I get one in, get it done and get it out on it, they usually are gone. But this would be, if you look on this table here, that's spalt right here. These black figures, and some of them it's just something that naturally occurs in wood, and it's really sought after. People really enjoy it. I don't have a lot of tools down here. These are some of the carving knives that I've made over time. I use these extensively. Spoons and bowls. Made out of lawnmower blades. They're actually an Indian designs. They call them crooked knives, and you use them in a scooping fashion like this, so you can really make anything you want to make a hollow in. They excel at it. And it's just old lawnmower blades.
You can really repurpose much of everything.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I make more, most of my tools come from other old tools that it's good steel, so that's why I use it.
So talk a little bit about your background, Randy, where you're from, and how did you end up here in Bentonsport, and how long have you been doing this?
I've been carving for 40 plus years. We come from the Quad City area. Live there, my wife and I, and family live there. I still have kids and grandkids up there. But my brother and his wife bought property down here 20-some years ago, 24 years ago exactly, and just fell in love with the area. Just love it. And they opened up a little shop down at the end of the road down here, Sister's Vintage. And my brother has this hot dog business down there too. And this building came up 2 years ago, just as I retired. And he says, hey, why don't you put your name in and see what happens? Well, we got it. So I retired on January 13th and took the keys in this place January 14th. And then I remembered I didn't have much to sell yet. So then it was the deal was on, and it's been nothing but a labor of love. My wife's usually in here running it, and I'm up making. But she had a wedding to go to today, so I'm here.
You're here year-round?
No heat or water in the building. This is the old bank building. So we stay until we just freeze out, and it usually gets pretty quiet down here a little after Christmas. There's still business, and people can call us or whatever, but probably from like May to Christmas time, we'll be open down here. And we've got a heater and everything, but just to keep things, and I have to also make time to make stuff. So that's kind of our background. We just love it. I mean, second year here, and it's gotten better. People have been very supportive of our business down here, and it's a nice community.
Really. People put in a custom order?
Absolutely. I did one today for a little rack. Some nice folks came in from Milo, Iowa, and wanted a little rack. So I said, sure, I try not to do too much in the summertime because once stuff, it goes in spurts, what people want, and everything's done by hand, so it takes me a little while, especially like on the bowls. The carbon part of it goes pretty quick, but then I have to let them dry. And so that takes a while, to get them done. It can take up to like 2-3 months even. So the spoons are a little quicker. The steel work and everything, I can usually kind of keep a head on it. But it's been so hot lately, I've been trying to stay out of the forge as much as I can.
When did you know you enjoyed carving?
Oh, Lord. Well, I keep this down here because I was, 8, 9, 10 years old. My mom had an old wooden spoon and she broke it. So I took a 2x4, which is the wrong wood to make spoons out of, but I was a kid. I made this for her, and bless her heart, she used it. And it's just, I always had a pocket knife in my pocket when I was a kid. And as I grew up and started seeing, I don't know how many years ago it's been, but there was a definite shift to hand tool use again and everything, and it checked with me. And at that time, that's how I got into making my own tools, because you couldn't get a lot of the stuff that I wanted to use for this type of carving and everything. And so I made some. I purchased them, but when I could afford it, I purchased the best I could. Now in the United States, lots of great makers, which is excellent for the people who want to do this kind of thing. And I get a lot of people coming in, young people, older people, very interested in this stuff. And I tell them, we'll bring pocket knife down and we'll get a chunk of wood and we'll sit and we'll spit and whittle, you know. And that's what it is. That's what you got to do. You know? So, very happy with.
So everything you do, is it all by hand?
Yep. I mean, of course, when I'm making a knife, I built a knife belt grinder to grind stuff like that. But as far as the bowls and spoons, this is one of my first purchases. You can buy these now in the United States with very good makers. This came from Sweden. That's how I hollow the bowls out. So it's handwork. It surprisingly goes quicker than what you think. It's like any kind of manual labor. If you turn your mind off and just go at it, it's done before you think about it. This, an axe, of course, shapes the outside and knocks the big chunks off. Bandsaw on a stick, you know. That's how I do the bowls and spoons. Of course, the pans up here are all hand hammered steel. They're like cast iron, but steel. And I don't know if you can get a good shot of it. They cook just like cast iron. They heat up and cool down faster is the one difference. So if
you have to season those like you do
I
cast iron?
season them for you the first time. So they're pre-seasoned when you buy them. And then like any other cast iron skillet or whatever, if you use anything acidic in it, then you'll have to re-season it again. But otherwise, they're pretty tough, and the more you cook with them, the better they get, you know. So.
And how long does it take to make something like that?
I can have it roughed out, the pan part, in probably 3 hours. That's really intensive going at it, but that's what it. Then the handles, they take a little longer because you got to forge them, twist them, or whatever you're going to do. If I do something fancy like a leaf one, it might take a little longer. But it's like anything else you do by hand. The more you do, the quicker you get. And if you can do stuff that looks kind of the same all the time, your trademark or whatever, that definitely helps. That definitely helps.
We want to thank Randy Trudell from Treen Woodworks here in Bentonsport, Iowa. It was a great tour. It was great getting to meet him. And he didn't say this when we talked to him, but I asked him just a minute ago if at some point he might be interested in setting up some woodworking classes. Don't know that that's going to be coming anytime soon, but he did talk a little bit about it. So we'll keep you informed as to whether that actually goes or not. So for this edition of the Backroads Channel from Bentonsport, Iowa, from Treen Woodworks. Again, if you enjoy our videos, and we hope you do, hit the subscribe button and be sure to like us on Facebook. So I'm Mark for Rich.
What's your big, come on, we're in a hurry. We got another place to go to.
There's some really interesting things in here that take time. We'll be another couple hours. Come on in.
All right. But
He won't, and we won't either. We've got to be getting on down the road. But for Mark and Rich, he's got to make his presence known. Thanks for joining us on this edition of the Backroads Channel. For more adventures, check us out on YouTube, where your backroads to adventure begins.